Hello, my name is Jane. I am the founder and owner of the Better Melon. I am an e-commerce strategist, and we are going to be talking about a case study of a project I did with Holyome Design Company. So I worked with Brittany, who is a graphic designer. She is from Niagara, Canada. So Niagara is where Niagara Falls is, for context. And she was selling greeting cards on Etsy.com. So Etsy is where she started her shop, and she started at the end of 2020. So towards we're in the middle, I would say in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and she was able to make sales and get things going and grow it until grow continuously, get sales and keep growing it. So she decided to work with me because she was thinking about selling on Shopify. And so there are two main reasons why she was thinking about Shopify. The first was she wanted to sell more wholesale. And so to do that, she really needed to look professional and look credible. So she thought having a Shopify site was able to achieve both of those two things. And so before I worked with her, I was trying to figure out what were some of her challenges I can help her with. So the end result was I was able to help her with brand strategy and help her build a Shopify site. When I started working with her, I asked her to fill a brand audit. It's just a form that looks, just help me understand what she knows about her brand. All right, so one of the earlier questions I asked her is who her customers are. And she really didn't have a clear idea of who her customers were. So what she's identified are characteristics that don't point to one specific customer. So this is actually very hard to work with because what happens is it's very hard to target them. So what she's written so far is her primary customer is someone who's this age range. They enjoy celebrating life's milestones. They value connection, thoughtfulness. They're encouraging and supporting. They're drawn to modern, colorful, and aesthetically pleasing stationery paper goods. They care about the environment and they purchase sustainable goods. So for me, this was a challenge to work with, and it signaled that we needed to help her identify her customer segment and narrow it down for her. So I like to work on a whiteboard called using Figma, Fig Jam, that's what it's called. And I would share my screen with her and we work on this together. So we would synthesize information together. So there's actually 3 sections here. So when I do brand strategy, I always start with the customer, always. With customer-centric process, mindset, it is the way to go. So we start with the customer, and what I did was I took what she put into the audit and I broke it down. So, we broke it down by these characteristics. We say that in general, this is sort of the non-negotiable characteristics we want, and then what are some buckets that includes this. And she's broken them down in 4 different ways, right? Geographic, she hasn't done geographic, but demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. And I try to help her identify more specific groups of people. So one of them was a small business owner. She's identified maybe realtors, there's also teachers. And so eventually, through a lot of discussion and through a lot of trial and error, we narrowed it down to small business owners from Niagara. And so this was a new direction in the sense of currently a lot of her products don't reflect that, but this was a direction I was really pushing her to focus on. The thing about focusing on a customer segment or focusing on several customer segments is that there's like a fear around it. So when you think about it, as a merchant, when you're selling products, your goal is to get more sales. You want to appeal to many people, right? But that's usually not a good way to start, because what happens is you stretch yourself out too thin. So a good way to start is to start at a smaller area and then build on top of that. Because say for instance, if you just sell cards to small business owners, you can create products around that can get more complicated and also more broad. So this was one way that we narrowed it down. So we narrowed down to small business owners. Because this is interesting if you think about type of products, if you think about niches. I know people who, for example, sell greeting cards or greeting cards for people who are in fitness space. Like that's an interesting niche. But if you create illustrations that's very broad and general, you don't stand out as much. Okay, and so afterwards, I asked her to talk to her past customers. So she was able to get a hold of 2, and we actually gained some really interesting insights. So the first one was I had her ask them why did they buy from her and kind of list the things they bought. So there's 3 high level insights. The first one is the purchases were usually occasion driven. So what that means is they bought it because something was coming up. For example, maybe someone's birthday was coming up, someone was graduating, someone had a baby. That's why they purchased the products. The second one was they wanted to support local businesses. The third was they just didn't want cookie cutter products. They wanted something that was unique, a little bit special, right? And so these are the main reasons why they bought from her. The exception with occasion purchase was there's 2 customers, right? One of them was more occasion driven. The second one actually was purchasing cards for team development. So she was a small business owner. Now, we discovered this after we decided on business owner as a segment. And so this is a really encouraging finding where, people are finding different ways of using her products. And so, that was a really good way to support our direction. And so the thing with what we discovered is that it lists why customers buy from small businesses, but not why from her, right? So an interesting aspect that Brittany was really set on was selling products that were eco-friendly. So her products generally are focused on being more eco-friendly, and that's how she stands out within Etsy. And the thing with that is none of her customers mentioned that as a big reason why they bought from her, because the customers, like, based on our research with her customers, they could have bought from any other Etsy seller. It doesn't have to be from her. It could be another Etsy seller based, within the Toronto region or within Niagara region, right? Within Canada. It doesn't have to be her. So we still don't know why her. And so we have to try to figure out what it could be that she does that other Etsy sellers don't do. So when you're thinking about competitive analysis, there's many tiers, right? There's people who are larger companies like Amazon, and then there are those who sell directly within your category in the same space. And so we do not understand why she is better than the alternatives or different people within the same product category. And so I had her look at some of her competitors, and one of them that we looked at is illustration. So Emily Nash, I'm just going to copy this. Emily Nash, this is just someone she follows, but she looked at their products. And if you look at her products, she stands out by having, very specific style with her products. She's based in the UK, and they're very fun. A lot of times they feature animals. And she has a particular style and a particular, a feel to it. And so when we think about what is Brittany's, what does that mean? So we went back to the board, and so what we have here is this is called a value proposition canvas. These 2 pieces, this piece and this piece. This is a customer profile. This is the value canvas. So essentially what this does is it helps you understand what is your offer to your customers. What do you offer them? I'm going to break down the customer profile because this is where it's important. The customer profile has 3 sections. The customer job, so I'm going to zoom in. It's a little slow. Give me a second. The customer job. The customer job means what are tasks that a customer is trying to accomplish. It has nothing to do with like occupation. So for example, if I'm going to purchase, hand cream, I have hand cream on my desk right here. If I was going to purchase hand cream, what is the job I'm trying to achieve by purchasing this? So for me, I have dry hands. So by having hands that are moisturized, my skin won't be irritated, and I can focus on doing what I'm doing. I don't have to be distracted, right? It helps me keep my eczema at bay. So and then if I'm focused, I can get more work done. I can become more productive. So that's the job of this product, is to help me be more productive. This is a productivity tool, right? I'm not irritated, right? Pain would be what gets in the way. So what pain is this relieving? So for example, that would have been eczema, an actual physical pain and itchiness, right? Irritability. And gains. So what are some things I would like to happen? So this could be more work done. This is a gain I could have as a result of using something to moisturize my hands. This is an example of how to understand the customer profile. It gives you a way to step into your customer's shoes to really understand the customer mindset. Because when you understand the customer's mindset, you can create things that would match their needs. So when we were exploring what her customer jobs were, we were able to identify something really interesting. So I asked her, why do customers want to buy stationery? Why do they want to buy greeting cards? And why are they looking to gift it, for example? And she said, okay, it's a way to share sentiment in a tangible way. Okay, why is that important? Well, because it allows us to acknowledge others and let them know they're valuable and they're cared for. Well, why is that important? It helps us build relationships in a meaningful way. So this was a very important insight we had because it's going to transform into the main value proposition of her brand. So when we do this exercise with the jobs, I always like to ask why. Why is this important? Why did I buy this? Why is it important I'm not itchy? Well, why is that important? Why do I want to be productive? Well, maybe because I want to get more things done. I want to learn things. I want to, run a business effectively. I want to get more sales. It kind of trickles down, right? Or in this way, trickles up, right? And so we were able to identify this. So this is her main value proposition, but it has to be linked to a customer segment, which is business owners in Niagara. So here's where it gets really interesting. How can her products allow small business owners within Niagara region build meaningful relationships? So if you think about it, what if she can create a sort of development kit? What if she can create an exercise kit or activity kit where it allows teams within a company to foster positive culture? What if she could sell, a box, and maybe she can have activity and she could print some things in cards where it allow people to write sentiment, where it allows people to express certain thoughts and feelings. Maybe she can have prompt cards in there as well. Because it's all paper-based, this will be within her domain. She can be able to do a lot of things in terms of creating original illustrations. So I think this is a really interesting way. Or what if she could help her clients, her customers, develop better relationship with their clients? So tackling this from a perspective of helping people get closer to each other, form more solid relationships, helping them get more sales. Like imagine if you can help a customer develop better client relationship, what would that do for their business, right? So I think this is a really interesting way for her to grow, because if you just look at Etsy, if you look at stationery goods, or if you look at greeting cards, it's not very common for them to think of this in this direction. So this is a very specific direction. And this will be the value proposition that she would be working towards. Another thing that we focused on was that her other biggest value offering is that she's local. So one of the feedback we got from her customer was free shipping. So she offers free shipping because she can ship them through letter mail. It's more effective if it's local, right? So we did some. So I did an analysis of her Etsy reviews. And I was able to break it down and do some analysis on it. And I think I looked at 15 of them. So this is actually just mentions. So this could be from more than one review. But this is a number of times this theme or topic was mentioned in her Etsy reviews. Design was the first one. So people said it was beautiful, it looked lovely, it looked great. The second one would be customer service. So it was about her, right? How responsive she was, how helpful she was. Packaging, how she gave, very customized packaging and really made it feel special. Quality was mentioned in shipping. And so being local was really important, I think, in that aspect. The thing with design is people weren't really specific about what aspects of design. So was it that it was really colorful? Was it that it was, looked really fun and vibrant? We aren't really clear about that, but, she has her own style, so she can just keep doing what she's doing. But basically, her main offering is to focus on a local market. Don't focus beyond that. I think she should put her efforts on a local market, specific niche, with a very specific value proposition. So this value proposition of meaningful relationships helped her develop her brand heart, her brand foundation. So we can go back to this board. So we're gonna skip over here. did a lot of work. We're going to skip over here. So when we develop her brand, we develop her vision, values, purpose, mission, vision. And we looked at tagline, value proposition, and messaging pillars. So the key aspect we can talk about here would be her purpose. So we said purpose was to help people build meaningful relationships. Mission was to help people find the right words through thoughtful stationery to express their sentiment. And the vision was people are well connected and leading a life filled with joy. So ultimately, this is kind of where her company and her brand is leading up to. So let's look at her Shopify store. So I designed her Shopify store and pretty much from scratch. She didn't have anything. She didn't have an independent website to sell her products on. She only had Etsy. And we used existing theme, which she purchased from Shopify theme store. And this theme is quite powerful, actually. It has a lot of features that were very useful for her products category. I'll just talk about a high level on things we've done and sort of what we came up with. So first of all, this copy, Live More Meaningfully, it came from that session with a customer profile where we identified what are customer jobs, right? When we developed this site, we did develop user personas. So user personas are a really good way to guide development and design. So what we did was we actually looked at 3 user personas and we crafted them based on real people. So what I do is I look at Instagram. So she can go on Instagram, look at her past customers, and we will look at their profile and try to craft a character or a persona, right? And base it on that. So we learn about things like what are their values, what are things that might frustrate them, what are things they would like to see on a website, what are things that they would find really useful, what are questions they might have, what would be the best way to organize navigation for them. So this is one of them. This is actually another real picture. We actually used a real picture when we were working on it, but this is just a summary of what we came up with. So here we have a small business owner. This is actually based on one of her customers. And for them, they're looking for activities that foster a positive work culture in their business. They value supporting small businesses. For them, family is priority. So this one customer we looked at, she was a young mom. She lives life to the fullest. She loves experiences. So I feel like these are the type of customers who will pay more money for experiences, for things that would make them happy. They're not the type who would go to the dollar store or for the most basic product, right? They would spend a little bit more for something extra special. Their goals are to increase sales in their business. They want to promote positive work culture. They want exceptional customer service, and they want lots of information. So supporting small businesses. So this was like really important guidance for the website. Throughout the website, I made sure that there was many mentions that she was local and small. So as you scroll down, you'll learn about her, right? Here's a photo of her. And hello from Niagara, Canada. So immediately you learn that this is a Canadian company from Niagara region. You can click and go to read our story. So I helped her develop this copy and I guided her on how to write it out, where she talks a lot about who she is, why she does what she do, and why she has a passion for designing cards. She's actually done them for many years in the past for friends and family, but later on she decided to sell them online just because one of her coworkers urged her to. So there's lots of information about who she is, and even in the footer, handmade from Canada, it's very clear she is from Canada and who she's from Niagara, right? So lots of mentions about that. So that was a very important value for the small business owner, was knowing that she's local. We made sure that was very clear. Another was details. So if we go to her FAQ, there's so much detail here. I helped her write this as well. I created prompts for her, and also I helped looked it over and make sure it was informational, had as much information as possible. So there's information about shipping returns, products, other things as well. If we look at one of the products, so let's go to all products. Let's go to this one. Within the product page, there is a product details tab that rolls down. So this comes with this theme. Not all themes would have something like this, but this comes with this theme where whatever I type in here will apply to all products within this category. So this category we identified as greeting cards. So anytime she adds another greeting card, this will be automatically there. And she can update it once and it'll apply across the board, right? So this is very, very useful. So we have information about the materials, information about sustainability. So sustainability was really important to mention because for her, this is something she really cared about. And we also link out to her commitment. There's a statement about her commitment to sustainability as well. So let's go back to the product page catalog. And what's great about this theme as well is they come with this filter. So if you have, looking for products around birthday, they would come up and filter out, right? So this is really useful in the sense of her product category is actually quite large in terms of inventory, and this is a good way to filter it. Another key thing was when I was building her site, I was very conscious of the fact that she isn't technically, her products don't reflect the customer segment we're going for, which are small business owners, right? It doesn't reflect that, and I really was cautious about that, but I wanted her to work towards it. So we have actual small section here, which is catered towards small business owners. So these are products that would be more encouragement and empowerment, and they would make sense for small business owners. I would imagine her to eventually build a product out so that it would cater more towards this customer segment. So if you click on that, this is a variation of products you could buy. So there's cards, there's art prints and stickers. So I helped her write most of the copy on her site. Homepage, most of them, I helped her craft them. So if we look at her newsletter sign up page, even her newsletter sign up was reflective of her brand, sending you good thoughts, right? It's not just here, sign up for our newsletter. We're going to send you good thoughts. So sending you good thoughts is reflective of the product category of greeting cards. And it's a way the way we've done it is just to be reflective of her brand, which is really important. These small things really add up for a brand. And finally, I always urge my clients, go beyond the product. How can you add more value to your product? And one of the things I recommended her was to write a blog. And she wrote the blog, a post about, how to write a personal greeting card message. So this is a way to help them foster that customer, that relationship, right? Meaningful relationship. Because if you just sell a product, if you just sell a greeting card, people might not really maybe do a good job in writing or don't really know how to write a good message. But if she can help them in this way and give them tips on how to do this, it's contributing to her overall value proposition of helping her customers build meaningful relationships. So this is a good way to do that. All right, so that's it for that. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you learned something. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.